The Los Angeles Lakers finishing as a top 3 seed in the West.
The Warriors are now the best team in the West. The Lakers are now number 2. The Celtics are the number 1 team in the East. We now have 3 teams that can win a championship.
Why would they not be one of the best teams in basketball? Did we forget the roster that LeBron James had last year and still won 50 games with?
God, nailed that one, right? I mean, it just nailed it. I am a believer in LeBron James as a plus 15 win guy. I think the Lakers go from 35 to about 50, 52 wins.
You think 50 wins is second seed?
Well, okay. Well, let me get to it.
Over the past few months, the NBA offseason, as always, has been extremely eventful. And this year's focus was the Los Angeles Lakers, as the Los Angeles Lakers not only had room to add 2 max players to the team, but also had a couple of players who seemed to be interested in joining the organization. And as the months continued to pass us by, and the Los Angeles Lakers added some veteran pieces such as Michael Beasley, Rondo, JaVale McGee, and Lance Stevenson, and then we start to see the progression of players such as Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, and Brandon Ingram, and oh yeah, they signed LeBron James as well. A lot of people in the NBA community became enamored on where exactly the Los Angeles Lakers will finish in the upcoming season. Because to be quite frank with you all, the Los Angeles Lakers are one of the more interesting teams in the NBA right now. And as there are a lot of people who are having this discussion in the community, and to do it justice, there are a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum. However, as time continues to progress, I'm starting to see a lot more people, especially in the media, feel comfortable with the idea that the Los Angeles Lakers will be one of the top 3 seeds in the Western Conference, which in turn has emboldened some fans in the NBA community to voice similar hot takes. And to be completely honest with you all, as I look at the rest of the teams, not only in the Western Conference, but in the East as well, and I'm starting to get a feel of the expectations that other teams have for this upcoming season, if you are one of the people who honestly believe that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to finish with one of the top 3 to 4 seeds in the upcoming season, or even if you're one of the people who believes that the Los Angeles Lakers will be contenders as soon as the end of this year, that leads me to believe that the Los Angeles Lakers potentially could be one of the biggest disappointments for this upcoming season. And if you want to witness the Los Angeles Lakers live, the best way to get your tickets is through today's sponsors, and that is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an amazing platform that allows users to buy tickets to their favorite events at a really reasonable price. Regardless if it's a comedy show, concert, or a sporting event, SeatGeek has you covered. And with the NBA season right around the corner, this is the perfect time to find yourself some really good tickets on SeatGeek. Now personally, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I use SeatGeek all of the time. I recently just bought some Braves tickets and went to a game and thoroughly enjoyed myself. And for the upcoming NBA season, trust me when I say, since I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to be buying me some tickets and watching my man Treyway shoot all of these threes, and hopefully he'll make some, but who knows, but I'm going to be there to watch it, and it's going to be really, really entertaining. Now, the way that I find really good deals on SeatGeek is really easy. SeatGeek categorize and organize the best deals for their customers by color coordinating the seats, and obviously if it's green, that means that it's a way better price than anywhere else that you possibly could look for, and if it's red, you definitely want to avoid them. The best part about SeatGeek is that you can always just click on the seat and get an understanding of where in the stadium or the arena that you're at, so you can make sure that you got a good view of whatever you're watching. And if that isn't good enough for you, SeatGeek has given me a promo code that any user can use on their first purchase on the platform. All you have to do is type in LOW, LOW, and you will get the $20 off on your first purchase. Again, that is LOW. Any other type of information will be in the description box below, so make sure you click on the link. It's literally going to be the first link in the description box. And as always, thank you for SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Now, when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and their expectations, I don't want to come across as too negative, A, because I'm a fan of the Lakers, and B, I do believe there are some valid arguments to why people believe the Los Angeles Lakers will be a surprise for this upcoming season. As the Los Angeles Lakers, like I alluded to in my intro, are really composed of 2 different groups of players. You have the younger core players who, quite frankly, have built the identity of the Los Angeles Lakers, which makes sense for the type of players that they have selected for their veterans. And to give credit where credit is due, because I don't believe Luke Walton, Magic Johnson, and Rob Pelinka have received the right type of credit, the Los Angeles Lakers have really built an identity of building up their players all around rather than just making their players specialists or only being good in one or two areas. Because of this, the Los Angeles Lakers last year, despite missing both Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram for huge chunks of the regular season, and without having any dominant rebounder on their team, they still finished top 10 in both assists and rebounds per game as a team. Furthermore, they finished as an above average defensive team as well, which is something that was rather impressive and something that I believe will continue to carry on for the upcoming season and for years to come. And so many people will more likely just assume, just through natural progression, even if you don't add veterans and definitely if you don't add LeBron on the roster, that the Los Angeles Lakers were a team that were pegged to be a 500 ball club this upcoming season. And so with some veterans on the team that fit that style of basketball, along with LeBron as well, you can easily scale their projection to the 50, 53, potentially even 55 win mark for this next season. But outside of the idea that the Los Angeles Lakers are building their young talent to be more well-rounded, and LeBron being on the team as well, there's not that much more positive things to talk about when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, which again makes me believe that they may actually be a bigger disappointment than many people are anticipating. So because of that, let's go ahead and break it down.
That's 11 points for Curry. Lonzo Ball, who really worked on his jump shot in the offseason, but you don't see it there with the air ball.
For one, and let's go ahead and just get this out of the way, the Los Angeles Lakers are an atrocious three-point shooting team. Last year, they were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA, with the second worst three-point percentage in the league, and only making 10 of them per game. And to compound this problem, they added more players who are not good three-point shooters whatsoever. And even though, yes, there are definitely some examples of teams that have found ways to be successful in today's NBA without overly depending on the three ball, I really don't think that you can be of the elite level in today's NBA without having some consistent option from behind the arc, especially when you're dealing with a team that likes to penetrate in the lane. So sure, you can have multiple players who can handle the ball and make the right passes, but if you're missing wide open shots, then that doesn't really matter whatsoever. Another thing that a lot of people must keep in mind is that the Los Angeles Lakers are in the Western Conference. The fate of the team may not be completely in their control just because they're in an extremely tough conference. I mean, we're talking about a conference where 50 wins may be a requirement just to make the playoffs for this upcoming season. And so to say that the Los Angeles Lakers could potentially be a top 2 to 3 seed with only 51 to 52 wins, to me sounds outrageous, because that could be the amount of wins that it takes to make the 6th or 7th seed in the conference. Especially when you take into considerations when you have teams such as the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors, who more than likely will win 55 plus games because they do that in their sleep. And then you have other teams such as the Utah Jazz, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Denver Nuggets, who I honestly believe have a better chance of being 50-win teams than the Los Angeles Lakers. And just for people out there who think that I'm crazy, trust me when I say I don't have to do that many mental gymnastics to explain why the Denver Nuggets will improve only 4 games compared to the mental gymnastics that one must do to explain why the Los Angeles Lakers are going to have such a massive amount of success this upcoming season that they will supersede nearly half of the entire conference just to capture the 2nd or 3rd seed in the West. Yeah, that sounds a little ridiculous. And finally, I think the biggest problem with the Los Angeles Lakers is that too many people are overhyping the type of talent that is on this team. Don't get me wrong, like I stated before, there's a lot of talent on this roster, and I thoroughly understand why so many people are optimistic about the players that are on this team. But let's just be honest with ourselves. There's a reason why those veterans such as Lance Stevenson, Michael Beasley, and JaVale McGee have bounced around the NBA within the last handful of seasons. And then when it comes to the young talent that a lot of people are anticipating to have great seasons, We're talking about players who've only been in the NBA for 1 or 2 years. The idea that players such as Josh Hart and Kyle Kuzma will play great for the Los Angeles Lakers this upcoming season is extremely hard to believe, especially coming from a Los Angeles Lakers fans who thoroughly understands the only reason why Kyle Kuzma and Josh Hart played so well towards the end of the season is A, because the Los Angeles Lakers were missing both Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball, and B, they started to receive way more minutes than I think many people anticipated when they were drafted. And because of this, I really don't think their impact will be felt as much, especially because, again, they would need the minutes to duplicate the type of productivity that we saw from them towards the end of the season. And I already know what a lot of people are going to say, that LeBron is the equalizer. LeBron is a player that when you bring all of these problems together, he is the one who is so talented enough that he can not only overcome them as an individual, but elevate the team as a whole to reach or even exceed expectations. However, I think this season things will be vastly different. The reason why I don't believe LeBron will be enough to overcome a lot of these problems is because the big problems that the Los Angeles Lakers face are the exact same problems that LeBron James has been attempting to avoid throughout the last 7 to 8 years of his career. Like I said it before, when it comes to three-point shooting, the Los Angeles Lakers are really bad at this. LeBron, over the past 8 years, has purposefully surrounded himself around great three-point shooters. So sure, you can say Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram are better than Kyle Korver or even Kevin Love, and that may be true. However, that doesn't negate the fact that even though, yes, they could be better players, they may not be better fits for LeBron. When it comes to the West and the amount of talent that is present in that conference, that is something that LeBron has never faced throughout his entire career. And so even though many people have made arguments that LeBron carried that Cavaliers team to 50 wins last year, he did that in the Eastern Conference, where 35 of his wins came from Eastern Conference teams, and against Western Conference teams, they finished with a 500 record. Even if you go back just one more season when Kyrie Irving was on the roster, they finished only one game above 500. And then finally, when it comes to the talent that is surrounding LeBron this upcoming season, to me, it's completely funny and ironic how so many people are gushing over the players that are on the Los Angeles Lakers, because these are the same type of players that many people have claimed LeBron has been trying to avoid for the last 8 years. We're talking about unproven young players and unreliable veterans. And also, the cherry on top of all of this is not the first time that many people have attempted to hype up the team that is around LeBron. You all literally just did this last year. Remember when many people were claiming that the Cavaliers last year were the deepest team that LeBron has ever had throughout his entire career? And then within 3 months into the regular season, it went from the deepest to the worst. Then the Cavaliers traded away nearly half of their active roster to go get a whole bunch of young players and some floor spacing, and then everybody went crazy for those players. And then by the end of the playoffs, it went back to, well, LeBron is carrying a whole bunch of scrubs. I mean, honestly, how many wide open three-point jumpers do you think Lonzo has to miss before he becomes one of the scrubs that LeBron is carrying? So for me, it just doesn't make any sense for many people to believe that the Los Angeles Lakers will be one of the top seeded teams in the Western Conference. But I will end on this note. I still believe the Los Angeles Lakers will be a very respectable team this upcoming season. Quite frankly, I do believe that they will win 50 games and they will make the playoffs. Will it be enough to be a top 4 seed in the West? More than likely, no, and I could see the Los Angeles Lakers finishing with the 6th or 7th seed, and for me, that's extremely respectable. But if you're one of the people who believes that the Los Angeles Lakers are title contenders, and you believe that they're going to jump over nearly half of the conference to become the 2nd or 3rd best team in the West, quite frankly, I would expect them to miss the playoffs before they would be able to achieve something that ridiculous. But those are just my thoughts. Please let me know what you think about the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron James, the old players, the young players, all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, make sure you hit the link in the description as well, and a huge shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. Make sure you hit the promo code LODUB for $20 off on your first purchase. And with all that being said, people, I will see you all later. Peace.